It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2, 3, 4 for the final time.
Win number 1 on the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the Nazareth Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Indy 250 week rolls on, and now it's time for the second biggest event of the week. We are here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the backyard of NASCAR, for the NOFSRL Cup Series longest night. This is the Coca-Cola 600 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series, presented by Mellow Yellow. Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 14 in season number 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series. We are here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina for 80 laps of action around this 1.5 mile speedway, 120 miles. Even though we call it the longest race of the season, it technically is the second longest race of the season, just 5 miles shorter than the Daytona 500, but this race runs on the 20% length, unlike the Daytona 500, which runs on the 25% length. So if the Daytona 500 ran on the 20% length like all the other races, this would in fact be the longest race of the season. But it's advertised as such, and it will be a very long night, but it'll be a fun night as well. This mile-and-a-half racetrack sees a lot of moves being made throughout the racetrack. It's great racing here on this 2018 BBMC version. I want to clarify that because even though there are yellow walls on this version, that was just Trey doing his magic and reskinning the track. But it is the same exact track we ran last year, and we should be in store for another great Coke 600. Join alongside Chase Harris, who'll be in attendance for the real-life one in a couple of days. I'm sure you're excited about that, but right now we got this one. 80 laps of action. It's a long race, so long in fact that there are 2 necessary pit stops in tonight's event. Most of these races we run in the NOFSRL Cup Series, we only have 1 pit stop. How is that extra pit stop going to affect these guys going through the strategy of this race?
Oh, well, you're going to see a lot of different strategies coming in this race, and it's really unpredictable who's going to go with what strategy, but that second pit stop really, if it wasn't already shaken up, that just shakes it up way more, and it makes this race so much more complex, which I find to be very entertaining. So that second pit stop will definitely shake some things up, that's for sure.
Yeah, and last night in the Turkey Hill National Series race, we ended up having 3 cautions, even though 2 of them were in the race. The one at the end happened after the checkered flag had fallen, but it was a race of attrition last night for the Turkey Hill National Series. I don't know if we're going to see that here tonight with these guys. Of course, the Cup cars, they generally run a little bit smoother here than the Turkey Hill National Series cars do. A little bit more downforce than the National Series, so that does help these guys out a little bit. But who knows? It's 80 laps of action. We had 4 cautions in this race last year. We could see 4 more cautions again tonight in this year's Coca-Cola 600. This is how they line up in the point standings. After 13 races, Keegan Thompson still the points leader. He's held on to the points lead for quite some time this season. 392 points towards the championship for him. LJ Semedo, 32 points behind. Sebastian Kukulon, 37 points behind. Jesse Turner, 38 points behind. Jesse Turner finished runner-up in this race last year. And Logan Williams, 42 points behind. Both Turner and Williams start inside the top 10 for tonight's event. I'd watch out for both of them. They both have a very good chance of winning this race. I think they're 2 guys to watch out for here in tonight's Coca-Cola 600. We had qualifying on Wednesday night, and in that qualifying session, Nathan Stapleton won the pole. But I would like to talk about one of the Turkey Hill hot seat drivers, and that is 2-time Cup champion Elijah Gordon, who is driving the number 21, starting in the 13th position. Elijah Gordon nearly won this race in season number 2, but got passed near the end by Warren Henniger. He may get some revenge after that moment, nearly over 5 years ago in this very race. So we'll have to see what he can do, but definitely a driver to watch out for as this race goes along. But as I mentioned, it is Nathan Stapleton in the number 97, starting on the pole position here tonight for the Coca-Cola 600 alongside of Patrick Smith in the number 16. Trey Smith to the inside of the 38 machine of Logan Williams. Trey Smith's brother won earlier today in the Freedom 50. We'll have to see if Trey Smith can pull it off here tonight. And of course, a few of these guys going to be in tomorrow's Indianapolis 250, including those two guys starting in row number 2. Row 3 sees Brad Stover and Nelson Reeves. Jesse Turner, the runner-up in this race, alongside the all-time winningest driver in the NOFSRL Cup Series, Zachary Fitzwater. Then it's Mason Brown and Joe Rutkowski rounding out the top 10 starting positions. And not only is Logan Williams in this race, but so is his brother, Andrew Williams, in the 32. So the brother is racing for the first time ever in the NOFSRL Cup Series. Thomas Troxler at the outside of Andrew Williams in row number 6. Well, Chase, it's a very stout field as always. Who do you think is going to win the longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600?
I'll tell you what, it's a tough decision, very tough decision, but I'm going to go with the 77 Jesse Turner. Something about that Affleck car looks really quick, and I think Jesse Turner will go to victory lane.
We'll have to see if he gets his 7th career NOFSRL Cup Series race victory and his 21st Napa fan win here tonight. If Nicholas Amadeo wins tonight, he will become the all-time winningest driver with 22 career wins. The pace car is down the pit lane. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. It's the longest race of the season. The Coca-Cola 600 is underway in the NOFSRL Cup Series. Lap 1 will be led by Nathan Stapleton in the number 97. Great jump at the start there and a bonus point towards the championship for Stapleton. He comes in his race 13th in the points, so he's definitely a chase contender. And if he gets this race victory here tonight, that would be massive towards him making the chase later on in August. But Brad Stover second, Trey Smith, Patrick Smith, and Jesse Turner to the inside of Logan Williams there. But Williams getting that run in the outside lane. A lot of grip on that outside lane early on in this race.
Yeah, you can see, that was a great move there by the 38 of Logan Williams. But one guy I noticed that really got a good start was Brad Stover in the 99. Again, he's gonna go to the inside for the lead right here on Nathan Stapleton.
A good run there for Brad Stover. It has been since season 8 at Rockingham since Brad Stover has gone the victory lane. So over 2 full years since he's won a race. And this race, if you remember the season 5 Coke 600, Stuart Gratton broke a over 100 race losing streak when he went to victory lane that year. But Stover going to lead lap number 3. Trey Smith going to go ahead and take second away. Now Trey Smith, he started off the season very poorly, but since has worked his way up to 21st in the point standings. He has been doing an excellent job as of late, even though he's now 3 wide. Mason Brown to the inside of the 97 and the 92. This is a home race for Mason Brown and the number 83 machine. A good opportunity for him to get to the inside of Trey Smith right there. Patrick Smith has gone up to second. But not at all the type of racing we were seeing last night. These guys a lot more orderly and a little bit more difficult to work your way from the back to the front here in these Cup cars compared to the Turkey Hill National Series cars. There goes Owen Miles to the inside of fellow New York driver Jesse Turner and Logan Williams. And Miles moving up to the field in the 22 machine.
And that was close right there with Jesse Turner and Logan Williams. They almost got together. But, yeah, you can see the 22 right here, Owen Miles. Looking like that 22 is pretty quick. He's gained a couple spots here. So, Miles could be a guy to watch out for today. And big move right there. Nathan Stapleton going for second there on Patrick Smith.
Good run for Stapleton, the pole sitter. And we mentioned Brad Stover hasn't won in over 2 years. Same goes for Stapleton. As a matter of fact, for Stapleton, it's been over 3 years. As Fisher G goes around, and another driver around, Ryan Durrani, and G's going to come up through the field. Ace Garcia caught up, and a massive accident down the backstretch. So many drivers getting caught up, and in this one, we had 2 accidents that came together, and it's a junkyard in turn number 3, I should say. My goodness.
Just like last night, another big one. I mean, it's twice now at Charlotte that we've seen a big one, and man, that wiped out half the field, maybe more than that. That was just, there were 2 separate wrecks there too. That was really odd.
It was. Nicholas Amadeo caught up. He's got damage. Ben Young has some damage as well. And a lot like last night's accident, you know, it's not going to take out too many guys, but it's going to definitely affect the speed of some of these guys. Thomas Troxel got caught up. I know Ace Garcia got completely slammed by Fisher G. There's going to be a lot to unravel after that one. They're going to come down the pit lane here. Fuel wind is about the same as it was last night, about a 30-lap fuel run for these guys, so going to be a 2-stop race even after this, so it'll be a 3-stop race for these guys, but these guys coming down for tires. Christopher Alphaby also caught up in that one. My, oh my, we got some other guys in the back. Nathan Baird got a piece of that one. Nathan Smith, Keegan Thompson with a lot of damage. Cameron Garlington, Jordan Lopez. Not everyone involved in the accident gained significant damage. There's the All-Star Race winner, Andrew Miller, with damage as well. Oh, and contact on the pit lane between Smith and Alphaby. They just keep on banging here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Gonna be a 4-tire stop for a majority of the field. Stover got held up there. There's a little bit by Logan Williams, and Nathan Stapleton is gonna win the race off the pit lane. It's very tight pit lane here. We definitely saw that last night as well.
Yeah. Last night we definitely saw contact on pit road, but great job by Nathan Stapleton's team to get him out in front. And I'm not gonna say, well, obviously it's still really early in the race, but that could really help out Nathan there if he can maintain that lead. But again, this is a long race.
Yeah, we're not even an eighth of the way through this Coca-Cola 600 yet. It's a long ways to go. I don't know. Ace Garcia is definitely going to be a driver out because he took a hard hit when Fisher G came up. And also, you know, you saw Ryan Durrani in the 68 get sent to the inside. I don't see him on the racetrack either. So, definitely going to be interesting to see who's all going to be knocked out after this one. But we'll go ahead and review the accident and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the night. 2 separate accidents happening on that 6th lap of the race, and all culminating to a massive accident in turn number 3. Well, you're going to see right here, Fisher G and Sebastian Kukulon got a little wide off the corner, and Fisher G slammed that inside wall and came back up, but also back behind here. And it wasn't Durrani, it was Shane Lake and Brandon Nelson, and Nelson took a hard hit to the inside wall. But then Fisher G going to come back up in the Ace Garcia there. Nelson Reeves, Salmon Oskin, last year's winner of this Coke 600. Elijah Gordon got spun around. Fitzwater barely avoided that one. Alex in a row got plummeted there by Ace Garcia. And Thomas Troxel with a lot of damage in the 53 machine. Nathan Baird, Cameron Garlington, Nathan Smith, Andrew Miller, Alphaby, Sam Adio, Ben Young. Just nowhere to go for a lot of these guys. This is a lot like last night's wreck that we had here in the Turkey Hill National Series race. So many good drivers getting caught up in this one. Yeah, Alonso, he got out. I don't think he got any damage. He may have been like the only driver behind all that didn't get caught up. Ethan Lewis with a lot of damage, though, and you see the 25 machine there of Alex in a row. I think Alex in a row is going to be out of the race, but Nathan Smith as well. Keegan Thompson, our points leader again. It's not been too good of a run for Thompson as of late. He's still holding on to the points lead somehow, but I don't know. Garcia's going to be done as well in that 81 machine, no doubt about it.
So you can see they're coming out too, and you can see right here they'll just kind of wreck in front of them there. And then they wreck behind him as well, and you can see Ace Garcia takes a hard hit and then a really hard hit, lifts the left side of that car up off the ground, and then everybody behind just plows in. It's just, if there's a big crash and it blocks the track in the middle of these turns, everybody's getting caught up in it, and that's what we just saw.
Yeah, and the game just crashed too. But that's why we do the replays after it. So hopefully that was enough for you guys to see. I don't feel like going back in and redoing it. But let's go ahead and get back to the race. Don't worry, we saved it all for you guys. And it's a good one here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway here in the Coca-Cola 600. Let's get back to racing with Nathan Stapleton out front in the 97. We're back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in an unscheduled stop just before the restart for Nathan Stapleton. It's possible they did not get all the lug nuts on, or they could have been penalized, one or the other, but he's going to go to the back of the field, and that's going to give way to Brad Stover taking the race lead with Owen Miles, Patrick Smith, Jesse Turner, and Logan Williams, the top 5. Andrew Williams right behind his brother there in 6. Zachary Fitzwater, Sebastian Kukulon, and Gatlin Downey, the top 10 as of now. Only 3 drivers are going to get knocked out from that big accident. Alexander Rowe, who won our last race, Ace Garcia, and Brandon Nelson. Christopher Alpia 1 lap down. He's still out there on the racetrack. Everybody else, 38 drivers, still on the lead lap here in this Coca-Cola 600. Stapleton going to restart in the 38th position, but he still has a clean race car and 70 laps to get back up to the front. Pace car down the pit lane. We're back underway here in the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. Brad Stover going to lead us down to the start-finish line.
You can see pretty organized start right there. I will say, going back to the Stapleton thing that happened on pit road, I almost wonder, because he came out way ahead of Stover, I almost wonder if he was caught, speeding or something.
Yeah, like I said, there could have been a penalty there on the 97 possibly, but either way, he is still on the lead lap, but he's kind of stuck behind Cameron Garlington here. And we saw this last night. We had some cars last night who they got caught up in that big wreck we had earlier on, and they became moving roadblocks for these guys. Curious to see if that's going to become the case in this race as Jesse Turner, number 77, the Season 2 champion of the series. He's only won 6 times in the Cup Series, though. He actually hasn't won that much in Cup, but his last win came on a 1.5 miles at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway last year, so we're going to have to see. He's won a lot on the 1.5 miles before. He's also won at Chicagoland in this series. But he's out front with Stover and Williams, the top 3. Now you got Patrick Smith there in 4th, and a side-by-side battle. Fitzwater is still rolling off of 1 top 10 this season, and that was his Daytona 500 win. He's going to get the 2nd crown jewel of the season here, as he's currently running top 5.
Yeah, great run for Fitzwater, and of course my pick's leading. But I will say, man, that got really close between Patrick Smith and Brad Stover a couple laps ago there. That was really tight. It came off turn 2, and you could see Stover trying to work the outside of Logan Williams, but Williams trying to hang tough, but don't think it's going to be enough. Stover's going to hang on to 2nd, but that allowed Jesse Turner to pull away from those guys, but of course doesn't have too big of a lead, so I'm sure Stover will get the run back, but right now Turner's got a pretty comfortable lead.
He definitely does, and you can hold on to the lead for quite a while, and we saw that in the All-Star race. Now then again, in the All-Star race, they ran a completely different package, completely different tire setup and all that. They were going much faster than they are here tonight, but it is it's not as hard as it is at Dover, but it is a relatively difficult place to make a pass, so we'll have to see what Stover can do. The top 2 have pulled away from the rest of the field. Logan Williams now in a battle with Patrick Smith, and Smith's teammate Fitzwater there in that inside lane battling as well. Owen Miles with a great run here tonight in that 22 machine. And we're just going to have to see. Hamill Racing Enterprises. Hamill could get his 29th career owner's win on Napa Fan here tonight if things go his way. He's got 4 guys in this race. Don't know where Elijah Gordon is in that number 21. Looks like he's got some damage and he's kind of fallen off a little bit. These guys aren't off the pace that much. Really, outside of Garlington, Alphabet, and Nathan Baird, everybody else is pretty much on the pace. They've just kind of gotten separated a little bit in the back of the field. Here's Larvin Alonso was back behind all of that, and he's actually been moving his way through the field rather well, up to 13th, now battling for 11th, I do believe. Maybe 12th with Eli Bright right there, but he's got Mr. Beast on the hood there. If Mr. Beast wins this race, he should give us $100,000, and I know he could do that. So someone tried to send this race to him if Hairgel wins tonight. But I don't know. Hairgel's got to pass Turner if that's going to happen. And Jesse is flying right now in that 77 machine. But Logan Williams caught up there to Brad Stover there in 2nd. And Fitzwater the inside of Owen Miles for 4th.
Yeah. You can see, Jesse Turner is definitely fast right now. But one thing I want to point out is Nathan Stapleton, of course, he did, we're going to assume, get that penalty there. He has not really worked his way through the field that well. He's still really far back. He's not really gaining positions that well, so it appears that Stapleton's having a tough time getting through traffic right now.
Yeah, it's a tough break there for the driver, the number 97, but it is still a long race, and who knows what else we're going to see here tonight. We're not even a quarter of the way through this event yet, and obviously we had that large accident. And like I said, I think it's really only those 3 guys, Alphabet, Garlington, and Baird, that these guys are going to have to worry about. And I see Garlington coming off of turn 2 right now and Turner entering turn 1. But if they are spread out like this when they run in the Garlington, it shouldn't be too much of a factor. I mean, last night was essentially a pack race with the Turkey Hill National Series guys. These guys here, they've spread out quite a bit, and it's looking pretty good. How about Daniel McMillan here? He had an excellent run at Dover. He's 15th in the points right now, and currently running top 10. His teammate leading this race, of course. So Otter Island Motorsports, they've been doing an excellent job this season. Of course, the guy who has won on that team so far this season, got a little bit of damage. He's actually not doing too bad either. 23rd, not the best of runs, but Dalio kind of hanging in there in the 75 machine. But still, these guys kind of filing in. It's not a lot of passing that goes on here at Charlotte, but it does happen. And Stover trying to close in. How about Fitzwater closing in here on these guys as well? He's to the inside for third as we're a quarter of the way through the Coca-Cola 600. Turner still leads at Charlotte.
Yeah, Turner looking really quick, but Stover, I don't know. I feel like Stover's been closing in the past few laps. I'm not sure, but another guy I want to watch out for is Fitzwater in third, man. He's been making his way through the field. That 14 car appears to be very quick right now. Of course, you know, we still have pit stops and all that, but right now Fitzwater is, I think he might be just as fast as Jesse Turner.
He might be. That 14 looks very sporty. And Grattan Racing, they've had a tough season outside that Daytona 500 win, but these long races seems to work in their favor. Of course, unfortunately, Brandon Nelson's out of the race. Kind of finished dead last year tonight, and Brandon Nelson's season's just really not been that good at all. Nelson 39th in points. I mean, you got to think Grattan Racing, they got their three guys. Patrick Smith is 32nd, Fitzwater is 38th, and Brandon Nelson's 39th in points. But they do have two other guys inside the top five right now with Fitzwater and Patrick Smith. Owen Miles in 5th, Logan Williams in 6th, and Daniel McMillan up to 7th. Williams going to go to the inside of Owen Miles there for the 5th position. And this is the guy who won at Kansas about a month ago. Yeah, it was about a month ago when we had that Kansas race. It's kind of hard to believe. This has been a fast month. No doubt about it. But Logan Williams looking pretty fast. Looking for a second win of the season. That's another thing that's at stake for some of these guys, like Fitzwater and Logan Williams. We have yet to have a driver win multiple races this season. And there's a bit of an echo there. But we're going to have to see if one of those guys pulls that off here tonight at Charlotte.
Yeah, these top three are now under a blanket here, so this is getting interesting, and you can see Fitzwater all over Stover for second right now, but man, I don't know. If these two work together, they're going to catch Jesse Turner really fast right here, and they were already closing in on him the lap before.
And I know Brad Stover closed in the Fitzwater, or to Turner there, but he actually fell back just a little bit. Now you got Fitzwater moving to the inside of Stover there for the second position. And like you said earlier on, I think Fitzwater may be one of the fastest guys. And now that Turner has closed in to Garlington, this could get a little interesting right here. Because these are two past champions of this series. Garlington's not that slow, but he's slow enough to get Fitzwater right to the inside of Turner for the race lead on lap 25.
Yeah, Turner just got held up too much there, and Fitzwater took advantage, but we know that top line, you can still make it work, but it's starting to get worn out a little bit now, so Fitzwater's probably going to make the pass down here in one, but pretty good racing so far. You know, it's been a little spread out, but I mean, we've had some good battles, but Turner's making that high line work.
He is, that outside lane. Now that we got the tire, we're going on. Brad Stover! Is he going to do it? He is! 3 wide, almost for the race lead. Fitzwater really drove it in the corner. He's driving it in to Turner. Some good stuff up front here in the Coke 600. And Zachary Fitzwater, looking for his 12th career win in the Cup Series, is going to take the lead away officially from the driver, number 77. Stover right here in the 99. Turner might get a shot back on the inside of the 14. Got Patrick Smith and Owen Miles right here as well. And then, of course, Daniel McMillan. He's flying through the field, and so is Alonso in the 39. Those are two guys who have really moved their way through the field here tonight. And I definitely will watch out for them as this race goes along. Christopher Altheby next in line. But these lap cars are not as slow as they were last night, so that's a good sign. They've generally been able to get around them as Turner goes back to the inside of Fitzwater for the race lead.
Yeah, great move right there by Jesse Turner, and man, he's going to lead on Fitzwater. It's a great battle for the lead, but they're going to catch the 6 here of Christopher Altheby here soon, so they need to be careful getting around him. But right now, it's the 77 and the 14 are just like equally matched. They're just that fast.
These are 2 of the 3 drivers, and actually the only 2 drivers who have raced in every single NOFSRL Cup Series race. Matt Dalio actually missed the Season 3 Daytona 500, but he has been in every single season. So the 2 most experienced drivers in this series by the amount of starts, and the amount of starts are, whoa, that was close right there between Owen Miles and Christopher Altheby off the corner. Thankfully, they keep it together, but these 2 guys have the most starts in the series of anybody. The same amount. They've been in every single NOFSRL Cup Series race, and they're 1-2 right now here in the Coke 600. But Patrick Smith has been up front pretty much this entire night. Same with Owen Miles, Brad Stover. And Daniel McMillan with another solid run here in the 79 machine. Logan Williams and here Larvin Alonso. Those are the 8 guys who have really kind of pulled away. Rakowski moving up to 9th to the inside of Cody Sill back in there. And Kukulon is here as well in the 13 machine. Sebastian Kukulon won a couple weeks ago at Darlington. He's looking for his 2nd win of the season. Comes into this race 3rd in points as Cody Sill really went wide in the corner. That 37, I think, is not running as good as some of these other guys right now. And that's definitely affecting how well he's running. But I think you're definitely seeing some comers and goers. And one of the comers is Daniel McMillan in the 79. He's now to the back bumper of Brad Stover for 5th.
Yeah, one thing I also want to point out, and I'm not trying to pull out any conspiracies here, but Toyota's 1, 2, 3 right now. And so...
And they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 5 here in a second if McMillan gets around Stover. But Toyota, they only have 7 cars in this race. They got the 3 Otter Island cars, the Trinity River car, and the 3 Grattan cars. And 4 of them are inside the top 5 right now. And they're led by Jesse Turner, Season 2 champion, the first ever winner on Napa Fan. And Patrick Smith's got a run on Fitzwater now as Turner continues to pull away. Owen Miles may make it 3 wide for 2nd. That's exactly what Turner wants to see. Look at that move right there. Wow. That is a solid move. 2 for 1, especially this late into a run, is a beautiful move. And Owen Miles now up to 2nd in the 22 machine. Looking for his first ever Cup Series win with Patrick Smith on the cross back over as they run in the Nathan Baer. Turner's already gotten around the 54 machine and lapped him. But Smith and Miles, I think Smith's going to clear the 22 as Brad Stover has blown an engine.
Man.
Oh, what a tough break for Stover. Was running in the 5th position at the time, and the engine goes kaboom.
Oh, look out.
And these guys got to be careful trying to avoid that 99 machine. But it looks like they will, but they lost a lot of momentum there. Kukulon and Tristan Allen, they didn't know where that 99 was going to go, and they had to check up. But Stover is done for the night. He will get it back to the pit lane, but barely.
And look who came through all that. Stapleton gained about 10 spots right there. And you can see he's up in the top 20 now, I think. Yeah,
17th right now for a pole sitter who was going to restart in the 1st position. The guy who did end up restarting in the 1st position just blew up, though.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate.
I have to see how that, if that happens to anybody else in this race. That's going to be interesting. Here we go for 2nd. Fitzwater back around to the inside of Patrick Smith, and Owen Miles right there as well in the 22 machine. These 3 guys have been battling quite a bit for the 2nd position. That's allowed Turner to kind of pull away with a half-second lead. Daniel McMillan, though, has definitely got to watch out for. That 79 has just been coming, and so has Larvin Alonso now. Alonso gained a position, McMillan gained a position as Stover blew his engine as they're 3 wide again for 2nd. Owen Miles going for it again. And it looks like he might do it again here on Fitzwater and Smith, and he will. I gotta tell you, this is some good stuff here at Charlotte. I know there's not much going on for the lead with Turner dominating here. I mean, Fitzwater did get to him and made the pass initially, but Turner got right back around him. But the racing has been excellent, and sure, they're spreading out. That's what I like in a long race like this. You want to have certain guys kind of dominate, and that's what's going on right now with Jesse Turner, as he's got almost a 2nd lead now on the field. But Owen Miles may be able to close in on him here as he's finally gotten around Patrick Smith and Zachary Fitzwater. And now Logan Williams and Larvin Alonso have closed in as well. And Jordan Lopez in this 28 machine, I believe, has fresh tires. Even though it looks like a modified, I think he may be running a little bit faster than these guys ahead of him.
Yeah, I saw him come down the pits a few laps ago. He was coming off the pits, so he definitely got some fresh tires there. But you can see, yeah, you're right. It is spread out, but you're right. I mean, it does make it entertaining considering that there's pit strategy coming up. So it definitely really just changes this whole race, and you can see a great battle here for that's the 3rd position between Fitzwater and Patrick Smith. Those 2 have been going at it all night, and they're still going. Here comes the 79 and 38 as well, McMillan and Logan Williams.
Logan Williams with a solid run tonight. Alonso's there as well, but I think Lopez, those fresh tires come into play. Joe Rutkowski's kind of all by himself here in the 8th position. Then you got Andrew Williams running 9th, and Cody Sill. Look at where Stapleton is now. Stapleton is coming in this 97. And he's about to take the 10th position away from Cody Sill. He restarted in the 38th position, has moved up to 10th. Now, granted, it's been a good 30-some laps since we've had that caution, as I think the cycle's beginning Thomas Troxel on the pit lane. So, like I mentioned, roughly a 30-lap fuel run. No one else coming down quite yet, at least in terms of the leaders. But Troxel heading down the pit lane, and he was on the lead lap. So we may be seeing Nelson Reeves come down, and we are.
Ooh,
And they got,
wow,
that was edgy right there. There's Ryan Arani in the 68. Thought he originally got caught up in an accident. Of course, we do replay the accidents after the race.
Yeah.
Owen Miles is closing up the back bumper of Turner. Miles is going to stay out here. Turner is going to come down. Patrick Smith, Zachary Fitzwater stay out. So Turner coming down. It's a very wide cycle right now, and this is where things get really wonky because the entrance to pit lane here at Charlotte, it makes you nervous. Now, the good thing is we are spread out quite a bit throughout the field, but if one guy makes a mistake, caution comes out right in the middle of the cycle. These guys who are staying out are going to have the advantage, and that's kind of why we're seeing some guys continue to stay out. But you got to think, too, there's going to be another cycle in this race. They first initially came down about lap 7. It's been about 34 laps. We got over 34 laps to go in this race. Patrick Smith, Zachary Fitzwater, Logan Williams, and Daniel McMillan all down as Owen Miles continues to stay out. Now, I would imagine that Jesse Turner is essentially going to really scoot away from the rest of these guys. As we have our second pit stop of the night, we're still going to have one more after this one. These guys coming off the pit lane. They are currently a lap down as Miles continues to lap these guys, but Miles will have to come down the pit lane right here. Stapleton, however, can stay a little bit longer because he last came down on lap 10, but he also might be coming down here so that he doesn't lose too much time to the rest of the field, and that is, in fact, what he is doing. Tristan Allen also was still out there, and now look at this. Larvin Alonso has closed up to Jesse Turner. Alonso started really deep in the field for this race, and now these two guys going after it. This will eventually be for the race lead, I do believe. But Larvin Alonso to the inside of Jesse Turner. That might be the pass that Alonso needed for the top position. There's Patrick Smith coming off. And that is for the race lead. Larvin Alonso has taken it away. And like Fitzwater, Alonso has only gotten one top 10 this season. That is race victory. Just a few miles over in the Rockingham Speedway a couple months ago. Well, Alonso has taken the lead here in the Coca-Cola 600. This race has cycled through. The cycle has cycled through, I should say. Those three guys, and Owen Miles is the first guy off of those guys who last came down. So Alonso has taken it away. And it's essentially a two-car breakaway for this race lead between Larvin Alonso and Jesse Turner.
Yeah, Alonso, man, where did he come from? He must have had a really good pit stop there, but he's pulling away from Jesse Turner here. So, great job by that 39 team on pit road to get the lead away from Jesse Turner. Of course, there's still a long way to go. That can obviously change, but right now, Larvin Alonso looking pretty quick.
Patrick Smith is third in the number 16. Owen Miles in a battle with McMillan and Fitzwater. They're about 5.5 seconds off the race lead at this point. Brett Sierra has moved up inside the top 10. He's in the 7th position there. So home race for Buck Racing. Andrew Williams is 8th. Sam Medeo is a lap down. Ryan Arani is 9th. And maybe it wasn't Arani who went around initially in an accident. Like I said, we review the accidents after the race, so we don't really know what happens. And Gatlin Downey rounds out the top 10. Someone's down the pit lane there. Still on the pit lane. They got Ethan Lewis here. Nelson Reeves and Mason Brown going 3 wide. Might want to watch for this. This could get a little interesting off the corner if they're not careful. And,
good.
They're going to keep it together somehow. You see Stapleton there, and then, Stapleton might have gotten some contact on the pit lane. He's now down to 27 then. There's a buckle on the hood on that 97 machine.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely a buckle there. That's going to really slow that car down. You can see Jesse Turner is there for the lead on Alonso.
Yeah, Jesse Turner wants this race victory. Alonso's already won this season, but Alonso, he's not doing too well in the points. Obviously, it's a good points run for him right now, and this 39 is definitely one of the fastest cars out here, considering that he is essentially just gone from the back to the front in this race, but Turner's not going to let him have it easy, and Turner has definitely been the dominant guy of this race, no doubt about it. They're side by side for the race lead here. They're the only two guys kind of in the lead pack right now, but Turner does not want to finish second again in the Coke 600. That much I know. McMillan has cleared Miles and Fitzwater for the 4th position, and Patrick Smith currently still runs in the 3rd position. A great run for Patrick Smith here tonight. Been kind of a quiet driver in this race. He hasn't led a lap, but he's been inside his top 5 pretty much the entire night. And it's Logan Williams who's down the pit lane. So another guy with an issue who was running up front. Logan Williams is already 5 laps down, and his day is probably, his chance of winning this race is done right there. Still 32 guys on the lead lap. Last driver on the lead lap is points leader Keegan Thompson. And you see him there battling with now Fisher G. Leaders are closing in, though. Here's Larvin Alonso and Jesse Turner, and Alonso got back around Turner. Turner going to get back around Alonso. And these guys continue the battle. Patrick Smith all by himself there in that number 16 machine. He could close right into these guys if they continue the battle like this, and especially if these guys close in, the Fisher G and Keegan Thompson. That is definitely going to slow these guys down in their quest to pull away from the 3rd place machine.
Yeah, this is I don't feel like that's going to work out for Patrick Smith because he doesn't really have anybody to work with in the draft. But see, Jesse Turner clears here, Larvin Alonso for the lead. I'm telling you, these two are just equally matched, kind of like how Turner and Fitzwater were earlier. So this is very interesting to see battling. You can see lap cars and Logan Williams coming off pit road. Did he pit twice?
Well, he had stayed on the pit lane. There was an issue on that 38 machine, just like we mentioned earlier on. Now it's getting interesting. Alonso back to the inside of Turner, and Turner getting held up by Fisher G. Alonso using Fisher G as a pick right there. That's a good move right there to the 39 machine. Alonso and Turner, I think Alonso has 5 wins in the Cup Series. I'm trying to remember. I think it's 5 wins. I can't quite remember. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, he's got 5 wins in the Cup Series. He's looking to tie Turner for wins in the Cup Series. Turner has 6 coming into this race. Alonso has 5. Alonso would love to get number 6 and tie the Season 2 champion. Oh, now they're closing on Alpha B, and Alpha B, one of the slowest guys out here in the number 6 machine. This is definitely going to become an interesting battle because if Alonso gets held up, because you got Keegan Thompson here as well trying to get around Alpha B. Logan Williams is just as fast as these guys. I think he probably had a tire issue. And Alonso was able to get around Alpha B pretty quick, and Turner was not able to get around Alpha B quick. And Alonso may begin the pull away here. One guy who's closing in is Owen Miles in the 22 machine. He's now 4.5 seconds behind the race lead. Alonso gets around Thomas Troxel as well. Now there's 2 lap cars in between Alonso and Turner. You got to remember, there's still going to be one more cycle of pit stops in this race, and that could really get interesting, especially considering that it's going to be near the end of the race, within 10 laps to go. You got Patrick Smith, Owen Miles, Zachary Fitzwater, Daniel McMillan. If you're one of these guys, you may want to go fuel only to possibly jump those guys throughout the field because you're not going to have that much time before the end of the race. What do you think's going to happen, Chase? If this race stays green, if we get a caution now, they'll come down and that'll be it. But if this race stays green, do you think someone in the back might play that strategy to possibly steal this race win away?
Well, I think you're going to see some guys that are going to get... I think you could see some guys that are going to try to pit early. Because if you pit early and you get the jump, you're going to have these guys that are going to try and stretch fuel potentially, even though it seems pretty difficult to do. But, there's always that one car, right? So, it's very possible you see some early pit strategy, some late pit strategy. You're going to see fuel only. Some people go tires. It's really unpredictable as to what they're going to do.
Jesse Turner might be closing back in here. Owen Miles, he is flying out there. He's just gotten around Patrick Smith.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see how well he gets around the lap traffic. That's going to slow him down a little bit right there, but he gained about a second in 2 laps right there, so going to be interesting to see if he can close into our race leaders before that cycle begins. Got Nathan Baird, another one of these slow guys in the 54 who was caught up in that accident. I think Alonso was caught up in that accident, but he didn't get any damage from it, and because of that, he's been able to scoot away to this race lead. Got 2 wide ahead of him there with Lopez and Nathan Baird, and Baird's not going to help him up here. So Turner might close back in on the race lead. Owen Miles, Patrick Smith, that is 2nd and 3rd. Fitzwater and McMillan 5th and 6th right now, and Fitzwater kind of taking advantage of McMillan, who's falling back a little bit. Andrew Williams is 7th. Eli Bright up to the 8th position. Elijah Gordon, I believe, is a lap down in the 21 machine, and he's 2 laps down, unfortunately, in his return to the Cup Series. So it won't be redemption for him here tonight. Brett Sear is 9th in the 12 machine. Gatlin Downey in 10th. And you got Shane Lake running 11th. Joe Rutkowski, Cody Sill, Tristan Allen, Ryan Durrani, Salmon Oskin, who won this race last year. First time we've mentioned Oskin all night, but he went to victory lane in this Coke 600 last year. San Mateo's a lap down. LJ Sameto, Matt Delio, Mason Brown, Sebastian Kukulon. Ethan Lewis is 21st. Nelson Reeves in the 05. Garlington is a lap down. Trey Smith is 23rd. Ben Young 24th. All-Star Race winner Andrew Miller currently 25th. Nathan Stapleton 26th. Brock Nelson 27th. Nathan Smith, the last car on the lead lap, in 28th. Logan Williams multiple laps down in the 38 machine after he had to come down the pit lane. 6 laps down to be exact. Alby is 3 laps down. Garlington, Gordon, Baird, all 2 laps down. Then Sam Mateo, Fisher G, Nathan Baird, or Thomas Troxel, I should say. Keegan Thompson and Jordan Lopez all a lap down. 28 guys on the lead lap here. As we have 21 laps to go in the Coca-Cola 600. A very long green flag run. Will it stay this way to the end of the race? That's a big question because you never know what can happen. I mean, we saw Brad Stover blow an engine. Lots of times when that happens, contact is made and a yellow comes out. But we've had ourselves a 53-lap green flag run here in this Coca-Cola 600. 80 miles straight with no caution.
Yep, it's definitely been a long green flag run, but it's been very interesting. You know, we've seen some crazy things happen, and currently it's Alonso who's leading the field. But one thing I want to notice is Owen Miles is up third now. Owen Miles is really good on the short runs, and then once it starts getting longer into the run, he starts to slow up. So
I will say, I think he got held up by the lap traffic. Because he closed back in by 2/10 that last time around. So now the lap traffic is effectively not in play anymore. We might be seeing that 22 close in the back of Turner. But Alonso has definitely proven to the field that he might be the fastest car here today. Turner has not been able to keep up with him as much. And that number 77 is losing some time to our race leader. So we're going to have to see. That last pit stop is going to determine who wins this race, no doubt about it. And if you get one of these guys back in here to pull a little bit of strategy, it could be game over for Alonso and Jesse Turner. For all we know, Alonso and Turner could be sitting ducks in this race on this strategy because they're the leaders. And, you know, if they pull that strategy, someone behind them could go 4 tires and drive right by them. So even though we're under green flag conditions, you know, that last pit stop is going to determine who wins this race, no doubt about it. And of course, obviously, you got to execute. We've seen guys not execute. Logan Williams had an issue. He's 6 laps down, and Nathan Stapleton had multiple issues in this race. So, those are 2 guys who are running up front, and they have fallen back so far here in this Coca-Cola 600. You do not want that to happen to you this late in the race, especially if you're a guy like Alonso or Turner, who have put together such a perfect race so far here, looking to get this Coca-Cola 600 race victory.
Yep. But you know, you never know. Hopefully nothing happens. Hopefully I didn't jinx them there. But I mean, these two, you just said it. They put together a perfect race. Of course, Alonso was like more like lower top 10 earlier on, but just had that really good pit stop and got around Jesse Turner. But these two are fighting hard for it. But look who's coming in the picture. Owen Miles. He is charging through the field, and he's going to get to him here soon.
Yeah, if this thing stays green, which, you know, it has a very green flag look to it, Logan Williams back down the pit lane in the 38. Yeah, I don't know what the issue is there. Jordan Lopez is also down. I'm wondering if this is a bit of an early strategy for some of these guys. Wondering if the cycle's about to begin. I mean, it's only been about 20... It's been under 30 laps since we last came down. It's going to be right around lap 70, I think, when we'll really start to see the cycle form. But they could be coming down early to get an advantage on the field here. You know, tire wear is very significant here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. When you get those fresh tires, you're going to be ripping it around this racetrack. You know, I don't know if you're Alonso or Turner. Do you risk the caution not coming out? Do you just hope that caution doesn't come out, come down now, get that fresh set of tires, and hope for the best? Maybe get some time on these guys. But, you know, if you're someone in the back, I mean, who knows? You could end up with a caution the way these guys are trying to get around the lap traffic back here. But all I know is that they still have to come down again. And that last cycle is going to determine who gets the race victory. No doubt about it. Whether it be under a caution or during the green flag. Eli Bright's closing in here. Up to 7th. You got Gatlin Downey in 8th now. Joe Rutkowski and Tristan Allen battling for 9th. Andrew Williams fell
Wow.
back there, and so did Brett Sear. They've fallen off a little bit. They've fallen outside the top 10.
I just want to say this. Owen Miles just was 4/10 faster than the leader right there.
And Alonso's
So,
coming. I think Alonso's coming down here.
Might be.
Yep,
he's coming.
so
He's
is Turner.
coming, and
Turner's not going to let Alonso gain any advantage here, and if with these two guys being the first two down, they really, as long as it cycles through without a caution, those two guys are going to be the guys to watch out for to win this race. Owen Miles, we got to remember, too, Owen Miles is closing in because he does have slightly fresher tires. Remember, he stayed out quite a bit under that last run. So keep that in mind. Miles really stretched it under that last cycle. And that's why he started to close in there near the end, because those tires were still a little bit fresher than Turner's and Alonso's. We're going to see who wins the race all between Turner and Alonso right here. Going to be a tight one between that 39 and that 77 machine. Here comes Alonso. Ooh, Turner's got Nelson Reeves right in front of him. That's going to slow him down just a little bit.
He hit him.
He did tap him a little bit there, but he's not going to lose too much time. Alonso gets off ahead of the 77 machine. And Owen Miles in the 22 is still out there. Same with Tristan Allen. Both Miles and Allen, they stretched it the longest that last time around. Here comes Miles. I imagine Allen's not going to be too far behind in the 95. And he's now going to come down the pit lane. This is... Ooh. Yeah, look at that gap. Alonso, he had a clean pit stall ahead of him, and Turner did not. Turner got held up by Nelson Reeves. That may have been why Alonso closed up to him the last time around. They just Alonso just passed McMillan. Eli Bright as well. Here comes Turner in the 77 with a full head of steam. And you have Patrick Smith, who also came down with Turner and Alonso quite a ways behind as well. McMillan's going to fall back to 4th. We'll see where Owen Miles plays out here in the 22 machine. Alonso's coming across the line right now, and Miles just came off the pit lane. And this race, only unless we get a caution, I think this race is going to go to Sergio Larvin Alonso.
Oh, yeah.
No question about it. Turner is... It's going to take Alonso getting held up by lap traffic or a caution for anybody but Alonso to win this race at this point. 10 laps to go for Sergio Larvin Alonso, looking to get his second top 10 of the season and his second win of the season, and looking to become the first driver to win multiple races in 2021 in the NOFSRL Cup Series. 3.27 seconds on Jesse Turner for Mr. Beast, who has been the class of the field later on in this race. After that first cycle, Alonso was clearly the faster driver compared to Jesse Turner, but will Turner be able to close in? And I think Alonso is going to catch up to the lap traffic before Turner does, and that will definitely affect the speed in that 39.
Yeah, I don't know. You might get your $100,000, but Alonso, man, getting held up a little bit by Garlington, but Turner hasn't really closed in too much. So I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Even if he gets held up by lap traffic, he'll get by it before Jesse Turner gets to him. So it's going to really take a caution for this to fall out of Alonso's hands, because right now Alonso's got this thing won.
He's going to have to get around Nathan Smith here. Nathan Smith, I think, is on the tail end of the lead lap here, but he clearly has that damage of that 67 machine that's holding him down. And Turner's really not closing in at all, even though he has no one around him. Alonso got around Garlington pretty quick, and Alonso's going to make quick work of Nathan Smith as well, most likely.
Get by him on this tri-oval here.
You have a little bit of trouble with him right there. And 2, it's been a very clean, outside of that huge wreck we had at the beginning, it's been a very clean race, and it's very nice to see it have played out the way it has. As that 39 is actually pulling away from the 77 now. He's just faster on speed. McMillan looking for a third here on Patrick Smith. This is going to be McMillan's second straight top 5 if he can pull this off. And so far, the only top 10s he's had this season have been top 5, so a pretty good season so far for McMillan. He'll definitely jump up in the points. Alonso's going to jump up in the points with this win. And like I was just about to say, we're closing in on the point of no return. Then if we get a caution in this race, I think next time by it's the point of no return here in this one, and if we get a caution, that'll end it. So only unless something happens to Alonso, and oh boy. You know what happened at Homestead? Well, he was running second near the end of that race, and we saw what happened to Brad Stover. Just, it's not over till it's over. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, just hold your breath, right?
I know Alonso's holding his breath. Let's put it that way. And Jesse Turner, he's losing time. This is gonna be the largest margin of victory so far this season. But this is definitely one of the best performances I've seen Alonso put on in a long time. And let's put it this way, hasn't been running up front that much. He put on a great performance at Rockingham, the win there. A lot of his wins last year were stellar performances. This one, though, one of the more dominant ones, and they put the race together very well. 4 seconds now on Jesse Turner. McMillan may end up getting second here. And I'm wondering, Turner had that little bit of a tap there from Nelson Rees. I'm wondering if that gave him just enough damage to slow him down. But McMillan in the number 79 closing in fast. McMillan may get his second straight runner-up finish. 3 laps to go for Hair Joe Larvin Alonso and NS Blackout Motorsports. Noah Clifton looking for his second win as a team owner this season. Alonso looking for his second win of the season and looking to become the first driver of the season to win multiple races.
Yeah, just a great performance tonight by Hair Joe Larvin Alonso. And back to the Jesse Turner thing, I think he may have, maybe when he ran into somebody, may have punctured a hole or something. But he's definitely slower than McMillan right now, but right now that's not the focus. The focus is on here, Larvin Alonso, who has a big lead and is hopefully going to cruise around to the victory.
I think the battle right now is for second between McMillan and Turner. McMillan may have a shot at closing in on his teammate. Sure, McMillan, I mean, he hasn't won in over 3 years in the NOFSRL Cup Series, but he has come close a couple times so far as of late. Let's see if he closes in, but either way, it's the white flag in the air here in the Coca-Cola 600 for Hair Joe Larvin Alonso at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, looking to sweep the North Carolina races this season, and it's looking pretty good for the driver from the Philippines. Hair Joe Larvin Alonso, one of the longest-running drivers in this series, one of the most experienced drivers, and with this, it's going to be a 6th career win, one of the most winningest drivers in the NOFSRL Cup Series. This is probably going to be the biggest win of his career in the Cup Series as well. Off of turn 4, Hair Joe Larvin Alonso wins the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. Turner will finish second again in the Coke 600. McMillan will finish third. Owen Miles and Patrick Smith rounds out the top 5 here in this longest race of the season. But there's your race winner. Hair Joe Larvin Alonso started, I think, in the 38th or 39th position tonight. Obviously gained a lot of positions from that big accident that occurred at the top of the show. But he was definitely the fastest car of the night. A 4.5-second win on Jesse Turner here in the Coca-Cola 600. There are the official results of the race. He went over the top 5. Eli Bright, Zachary Fitzwater, Gatlin Downey, Ryan Durrani, and Tristan Allen with a top 10 here today at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Matt Dallio finished 11th. Otter Island Motorsports, all their guys finishing near the top 10. Take a look at the rest of the results right there. And only those 3 guys who got knocked out from that accident, and Brad Stover with his header issue. But everybody else finished this race. And not all of them finished on the lead lap. But saw that big accident that occurred, and we all thought that, man, this is going to be a terrible race. Lap traffic's going to really come into play, but it played out very nicely, and Alonso pulled away and earned this race victory here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, what a performance for Alonso there. And it feels good, that's for sure. I know it's a feel-good story for him, so big win for Alonso, and congrats to that team.
We're going to have to see what Alonso does tomorrow as well, because he's going to be in that Indianapolis 250 as well. No one has ever pulled the double off before. Alonso's going to have the opportunity at doing that tomorrow in that great race. And you ran in that Indianapolis 250 last year, Chase. You know what it's like. And, for the few drivers who are in tonight's race, who are going to be racing tomorrow, what can they take away from this event tonight? This being a long race, of course, tomorrow's race being twice as long as this one. What are those guys like Nicholas Sambadio, like Jordan Lopez, like Thomas Troxel, those guys who are going to also be in tomorrow's Indianapolis 250, can they take anything away from this race and apply it to tomorrow's big event?
I mean, yeah, they can. They can realize, we saw the big one there early in the race, and they can realize, being aggressive early doesn't help you. because no matter what, I mean, the race is just unexpected. So just don't be too aggressive early. And also just, try not to put yourself in bad situations throughout the race. And also just make sure that, you're racing the racetrack and not the other ones around you.
And we're going to have to see how it all goes down. 33 drivers, 100 laps. And that, too, will also be a two-stop race. At least scheduled 40-lap fuel window for that race, too. One of the longest fuel windows that we have for any race, but the past 2 years. It has been a fuel mileage race. We'll have to see. If a caution comes out around lap 60, oh boy, that's when things get a little bit interesting. That's what happened last year, and we're just going to have to see how it all goes down. Tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. We've all been leading up to it here during this Indy 250 week. It's the Indianapolis 250 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Alex, you're going to be leading us to the green flag tomorrow. It is going to be an excellent event. Stick around. Hope you folks enjoy it at noon Eastern Time tomorrow right here on AEG Racing. In the meantime, though, congratulations to Larvin Alonso for his 6th career NOFSRL Cup Series race victory and his 2nd of the 2021 season. And he did it for Mr. Beast, too. Hey, Mr. Beast, if you're watching, give me $10,000. No, I'm just kidding. Congratulations to Larvin Alonso for getting it done here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Next Friday night, we're at Chicagoland for a much shorter race, but probably a lot more wrecks. The Sirius XM 400 coming up in just a week's time. Thank you guys so much for watching. On behalf of Chase Harris, here are the points for the NOFSRL Cup Series after 14 races. And congratulations to Larvin Alonso once again. I will see you guys later.